Walking Championships. This wonderful arena is soon going to be hosting concerts by Diana Ross and Madonna. It's one of the largest venues in the world. So in the spirit of them, let's start with this gentleman in Japan, because ain't no counting high enough with their scores. They're capable of producing massive numbers, and they were the top performers in qualification. But with this American team, experienced people like Yul Moldau, we say, well, fly high, American guy, you're back in the team. It's easy to see why. And they're medal contenders too, no question. But Jake Jarman has been a ray of light for the British team in recent years, a Great Britain team that qualified third for this final. What a competition for Canada. 16 years, no men's team at the Olympic Games. But they always said someday we'll be together, and they've done it now. They're back. René Corneille, one of the athletes that's led them there. Now, Germany, with the likes of Lucas Dauser, on form. Germany, they contend when they get into the groove, and they might well do today. The Italian team have won medals a long, long time ago. He doesn't know anything about that, Yumin Abedini. He was fresh-faced at the championships last year, very fashionable. Italy is in vogue. And what about Switzerland with Noah Seifert? He's from a little mountain village, but he's never frozen once the competition's open. And then we finish with the People's Republic of China. And the question is, will Sun Wei turn up the sunshine? And will China fly up the standings? The beautiful port city of Antwerp, hosting the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. The sun is beginning to set, but the bright lights will be on this arena very soon. Out they come, the top qualifiers, Japan, for the men's team competition. This, the 120th anniversary of the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. And we're back home. It was in this place in 1903 that only 4 teams attended. France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and the host nation, Belgium. Now, 400 plus athletes from 73 countries have walked through that tunnel connecting the Lotte Arena to the Antwerp Sportpaleis. Now they have a chance for glory. Time to believe in themselves, time to shine bright like a diamond, because this is Antwerp, the city of diamonds. Can they? We shall find out. It's going to be a complicated and intricate picture, because a lot of these teams have got things to iron out from qualification. A lot of them are simply seeking to maintain the standard they set in qualification. So high was it. The warmest of welcomes to you indeed. My name's Ollie Hochben. It's a great pleasure to have your company, and joining me for this men's team final, as ever, is Blythe Lawrence. This is a rather tricky one, Blythe. Where do we begin?
Oh, where to begin? Well, let's start at the top. While several of the contenders struggled somewhere or other in the qualification round, Japan was characteristically consistent. And why wouldn't they be? They have the Olympic champion in Hashimoto Daiki, they have a veteran in Kaya Kazuma, and the top all-around qualifier in newcomer Kenta Chiba. And then there's the United States. They aced their first test in the qualification. They're young, they're hungry, and so far they have looked impervious to the pressure here. Great Britain, they have an exceptionally good team, strong all-arounders and amazing specialists like Max Whitlock back in international competition for the first time since the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Their problem in qualification was vault. They counted 2 falls toward the team score, and so there is room for improvement. And if they hit vault tonight, they have real potential to challenge for a medal. Finally, really honorable mention to Canada, the only team in this final that has never won a world medal. They were 4th in qualification with maybe the strongest team they've ever assembled. And if they perform like they can, the podium will be within reach.
I don't know how you did it, but you actually made sense of that, Blythe. Well done. Because it really is such a fascinating competition. We're going to talk in more depth about all of these teams as they get out there onto the competition floor. One thing is clear, the United States of America, what an exciting team this is. They have got so much quality.
The second strongest in qualification, and they're all newcomers except for Asher Hong and Yul Moldauer, who were, of course, competitors at World Championships beforehand.
And it's very helpful, isn't it, to have those veteran presence there. Well, 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 it's time to begin. Great pleasure to have your company, your friendship as part of the gymnastics community, wherever in the world you call home. Who will call the podium home? We will discover in 6 rotations time. If you've never watched a men's team final before in artistic gymnastics, don't you worry, we'll talk you through it as we go, and how everything is calculated. Feel free to take a rest whenever you want. Chinese gymnasts have a little piggyback ride here and there. I'll tell you who will need a rest is Lin Xiaopan for the Chinese team. He's flown in from the Asian Games in Hangzhou to be at this competition. More on that later. Here are your contenders. Japan, the top qualifiers. A nation going in search of their first gold medal since 2015. Chiba Kenta, the star performer in that Japanese team, but the top 3 men in all-around qualification were all from Japan. That tells you a lot. But hello, this American team is so exciting. The second best in qualification, and I tell you what, the US delegation here and the American media are twitchy as anything. They are dreaming very, very strongly of a medal, and they're right to believe they can get it. Niels Daniel, your master of ceremonies, doing the introductions from in the arena.
Team Switzerland.
And we have the team from Switzerland, one of only a handful of teams to have ever won this title. They won't remember it, it was back in 1950. And they're ready to deliver a knockout punch to the rest of the field though, the Swiss gymnasts. 7th best in qualification.
And Dominic Damsel. Also on hold, Team People's Republic of China.
The People's Republic of China only just made it in 8th in qualification, but they've made fools of us all year after year after year by performing so well when the final comes around. They don't care about their qualification performance, they just care about getting into the final. They've done that, and they are ready to win it, and they can. Some people have been calling it the Chinese B team. If it's a B team, oh, it's a pretty good one. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, 3rd best in qualification. Bronze medalists last year in Liverpool. You can never count them out. They were last place at one point in the final last year, and they were fourth going into the last rotation. They really struggled on pommel horse last year. Now, where's Max Whitlock when you need him? Oh, that's right, he's back. And the top qualifier for the pommel horse final.
Also on pommel horse, Team Canada.
Canada, what a story. One of the great gymnastics nations in the world over the last 12 months. Their women's and men's team qualifying full complements to the Olympic Games. These gentlemen, fourth best in qualification. An incredible accomplishment for Canada.
William Emma and Jason Rampersad.
We're going to really enjoy watching them compete. They're a terrific team. The spirit in that Canadian group is so impressive.
Team Germany.
Germany have won a medal on 3 occasions as a unified nation. Bronze medals in 1991, 2007 and 2010, fifth best in qualification. Very skilled team this. At the heart of it, the excellent Lucas Dauser producing massive scores as you'd expect on parallel bars.
Lucas Kokan and Andreas Dover. And finally, on still rings, Team Italy.
Well, it always feels correct when Italy starts on the Roman rings, the still rings, the apparatus that we associate with them so strongly. An Italian team who finished fourth last time, a magnificent accomplishment. They have been bronze medalists on 3 occasions, 1909, 1911 and 1913. It's been a while, but this is an opportunity to make history for them. All of you out there who've made your predictions, you're braver than we are. Isn't that right, Blythe?
That is. We don't know what is going to happen, and so many things could happen.
Eight teams.
1.5
Double
warm-up for
the number of
first
nations that actually came to the original World Championships in Antwerp in 1903.
Get moved by motion.
Even heel kort het concept uitleggen.
You're going to see 6 rotations. All of the customary apparatus in men's artistic gymnastics will be employed throughout the evening. Unlike qualification, the teams have no opportunity to discard any scores. 3 gymnasts will compete on each apparatus. Every number will count. It was 4 in qualification with an optional discarding the score if you put 4 gymnasts up. If you put 3 up, obviously you had to take all of those scores. But most of these teams, the teams that qualify, have sufficient depth to discard a score and not worry about it. But then we have nations like China who've made substantial changes. They brought in an entirely new gymnast in Lin Chaopan. Blythe, one can only imagine what was going through his mind as he left the podium at the Asian Games in Hangzhou, popped onto a plane and got here.
It's incredibly unusual, what China has decided to do. It is, of course, within the rights. They can do that and switch out a gymnast for the alternate, but we've never really heard of such a thing, have we? A gymnast coming this far to compete at the World Championships in the team final, and he is expected to do 5 apparatus tonight.
Yes, that's the other thing. It's not as though he's coming here to do 1 or 2 pieces. He's going to be very heavily involved, is Lin Chaopan.
Of course, this is an arena that he knows very well. He was world champion here on parallel bars 10 years ago.
Germany and Italy will be traveling around together. So again, just a little explanation for those of you who are new to watching the format for this. The nations are paired as they rotate around. So Japan and the United States of America will start on what is often colloquially known as the Olympic order, the traditional order of apparatus, the floor, the pommel horse, the rings, the vault, the parallel bars and the horizontal bar. Then we'll have Great Britain and Canada. They'll be paired together. Italy and Germany as the 5th and 6th best qualifiers, and there Switzerland and the People's Republic of China the 7th and 8th best in qualification. I think it is safe to say that very few expect the Chinese to maintain 8th position. There is a high expectation that they will go significantly beyond that, because they have, haven't they, Blythe, over the years, including last year, put qualification behind them pretty sharply.
Historically, this is what they do, and they have said that their team strategy when it comes to qualification is simply to come out and get into finals. It's no more and no less than that. But finals, of course, is when they have to do their very best. In 2022, they had a very difficult qualification. They were only 4th among the 8 teams. And then they came out in the team final and looked an entirely different team, and they won.
We'll be looking at the qualification scores as we go through this competition. But it is a 0 start for all of the athletes, so those qualification scores just a guide. Welcome to the men's team final at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics, the 120th anniversary of the inaugural championships in Antwerp, and we're back in Antwerp. But here's a newcomer, Chiba Kenta from Japan. The right place to start. He was the best performer in all-around qualification.
He's not hugely well known internationally, but in Japan, his claim to fame is that in 2017, he won the all-around at the All Japan Championships, beating the legendary Uchimura Kohei. Rather a so-so start for him here. On his second tumbling pass, there were problems with the landing.
With the first exercise of Team Switzerland.
That is very, very difficult for him to overcome and not make a major deduction. He didn't have the rebound coming out of the twist and going into the front half that he did.
Well, that was a tricky start for Chiba Kenta of Japan. Really tricky start. Problems with his second tumbling pass, problems near the end, some quite hefty deductions to be taken. Now we go to James Hall of Great Britain on pommel horse. He scored 14.033 in the preliminary round.
He's such a reliable performer for Great Britain, isn't he? And he has been for years.
And he was outstanding in all-around qualification as well, the 5th best of all of the gymnasts.
His legs coming apart on the Russian Wenda swings, and he's off.
As I'm sure many of you know, a full mark to be deducted for a gymnast coming off the apparatus, and we just remind you at this stage that every score counts in the final. No opportunity to discard. James Hall of Great Britain. First performance from him, the first performance from the British team, 3rd best in qualification. Now, Chiba Kenta scored 13.9. It's going to be quite far down from that. It's a long way down, actually, 12.933. So not the most comfortable of starts for Japan, nor for Great Britain. What about for Yul Moldauer of the United States of America on floor, the bronze medalist at the World Championships in Montreal in 2017. He is capable of such beautiful work on this piece. This is a chance for the USA early on to stamp their authority on this final. That'll do.
Beautiful. Randy, 2.5 twisting front somersault to open. One thing Yul is known for on floor exercise is his light, cat-like landings, and he's certainly demonstrated that throughout these first 3 tumbling passes. This flare sequence is just as important for his difficulty as any major tumbling run that he does as well. And he's added a bit of break dance to the end of it.
That is a very elegant and purposeful start from Yul Moldauer of the United States of America. And witness the emotion at the end of it and how jubilant the USA is after this first display. Well done to the experienced man.
That was absolutely authoritative, and the reason was those stuck landings.
11.933. And that is a drop of over 2 marks from qualification for James Hall. Already complicated picture. We go to Zach Clay from Canada. 13.666 in the qualification campaign.
And this is opportunity for Canada if they can do what they did in the qualification. They started on pommel horse and they nailed all of their sets.
And this is a gentleman who's been a Commonwealth Games medalist on pommel horse and a Pan American champion. He knows his way around this apparatus and he's looking nice so far.
It's very clear that the Canadians have focused on this event as one that they needed to improve on in order to attain the Olympic qualification. And now they've done that. The investment that they put in their training is paying off in this routine.
It's a very good beginning for the Canadian, Zachary Clay. He's only scheduled to perform on this one apparatus, but he wasn't expecting to vault in the qualification and had to at the last minute. He didn't even warm it up and still performed well.
That in 2017 he won the all-around.
Now Florian Langenegger of Switzerland on vault.
That is a Schufelt vault named after the great Kyle Schufelt from Canada. Yurchenko with 2.5 twists. That's a steady start for the Swiss. We'll have another look at it.
14.233 for Florian Langenegger. Virtually the same as in qualification, just a small drop of a few hundredths, nothing too egregious. Japanese team somewhat playing catch-up early on. 14.366 for Yul Moldauer. That is a gain of just over 1/10 from the preliminary round. He's known for his calmness before routines. He was also absolutely explosive after it. Now, first opportunity to have a look at the Italian team who are competing on rings. This is Yumin Abadini. Scored 13.5 in qualification. It's his second World Championships, and he was part of the Italian team that won the European title earlier this year.
In qualification, he had a roller coaster ride on the still rings. His hand grip actually broke in the midst of his routine, and it threw him off the rings, and he landed on the ground. And he was able to actually start the exercise over again, wearing the grips that one of his teammates had loaned him. nice Yonasan to Yamawaki combination, the double front skills. And a double twisting, double tuck dismount. We'll be seeing a lot of those from the top contenders on still rings.
I look back at the conclusion of the routine from Yumin Abadini, bronze medalist at last year's national championships in the all-around competition. Such a spirit in the Canadian team. 14.2. Now that is interesting. Zach Clay, that's one of the big gains of this first round from 13.666. What a terrific start from the Canadians. The 28-year-old from British Columbia at his 6th World Championships in his first ever final. He was 11th in the pommel horse competition last year. This is a gymnast who at the World University Games in China was an absolute hit with the local fans. They loved him. They loved his gymnastics, they loved his personality. Every time he appeared on the big screen, they roared and waved at him, and he waved back. Fred Richard from the United States of America. He's 19. He's already the collegiate, the university all-around champion as a first year. What a start.
Such an exciting routine. He begins with a 2.5 twisting double tuck. Very nice landing. He adds half a twist onto that first pass compared to many of the competitors that we'll see. And he really adds something here as well with this flare sequence. 2 air flares. Just doing those alone gets him 4/10 of bonus points, and he's going up through the handstand and back down. That too, very important for his difficulty. There's the double twisting, double tuck. Done in the middle of his routine. Round off back handspring, half in, half out.
They've started extremely compellingly, the United States of America, haven't they? Wonderful beginning. Yul Moldauer, then Fred Richard. Let's have a look back at it. There's lots to enjoy.
Oh yes. This is the opening pass once again. 2.5 twists and 2 somersaults.
Niels Dunkel from the German team, competing on the rings alongside the Italians. This is a 26-year-old athlete who competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. 13.533 in qualifying.
He starts with a Maltese and then pulls to an iron cross. The Germans lost one of their strongest competitors, Andreas Toba, to an injury in podium training, but they were just all business throughout the qualification round. Things went very smoothly, and so far this routine is going smoothly as well. Swing to front giant, pausing in the handstand, and a full twisting double layout with a step back.
Promising start for the Germans. Niels Dunkel. .7 his score. That is an improvement of almost 2/10 from qualification. So we're seeing some of these chasing nations early on register small right through to substantial improvements from the qualification stage. Very interesting start. Yumin Abadini scored 13.266. That for him a small drop from qualification of almost 3/10. This is of real significance for Great Britain's hopes. A sight that we are so very used to. The sight of Max Whitlock next to the pommel horse. Max Whitlock of Great Britain, the reigning two-time Olympic champion on the pommel horse. The most successful ever pommel horse gymnast in the entire history of this sport. He says he's come back after some time away with a different mindset, a more positive mindset. He scored 15.266 in qualification, the best of anyone.
And Great Britain needed him in the qualification round. He was the first up on parallel bars after the disastrous session that they had on vault, and he righted the ship. And on his signature apparatus, he has a chance to do the same thing here, given the difficulties that Britain has had beginning with James Hall. And really, who better to do that? He's cleanly through the Busnari.
The difficulty that is loaded, layered in every nook and cranny of this routine. It's a remarkable tour de force. It's Max Whitlock, and he's back in business. And that will lift Great Britain no end.
There's so much variety in Max Whitlock's routine. He does flares, he does woo travels, he does a Busnari, and he does it all beautifully, and he's so consistent.
Let's return to Japan, and a very important performance coming up for them. Minami Kazuki on floor, the World Championship silver medalist in his home country in 2021 in Kitakyushu. He debuted a new skill at the Doha World Cup earlier this year.
It was on this first pass. He's not done it tonight, but he has done an amazing 2.5 twisting double tuck, combining it right to a front layout full. And that is a triple twisting double tuck. Oh, it's wonderful difficulty.
I mean, it's not a bad start, is it?
No, not at all. And then there was a triple twisting front somersault named after one of his teammates, Shirai Kenzo. He actually does only one double flipping element in his floor routine, and the rest of it is just twisting like a top. Two and a half to front double full.
That could be of real use to the Japanese team. Not the easiest of starts, but they're trying to get themselves moving, trying to really build a sense of momentum going into the next rotation. And he's such a useful acquisition to have on this apparatus.
And this will help a lot. Here's another look at the first pass. There's so much going on. And this is new that we're seeing on the international scene. Somebody rebounding out of a 2.5 twisting double and adding a front element.
Beautiful twisting work. Beautiful score for Max Whitlock and Great Britain. 15.266, the exact same number that he produced in the qualification round. 6.9 difficulty. It is an absurd number to see registered. Hope you're enjoying all of the action so far from this men's team competition at the 2023 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. All of the teams that you're watching have secured a place at the Olympiad in Paris next year. Renee Konoe of Canada, 26 from Quebec, an Olympian from Tokyo. He scored 12.933 in qualification.
This was actually Canada's spare routine on pommel horse. But like the other three athletes, he hit it.
On this occasion, didn't quite have the sense of swing, and he's off the apparatus on the Wendeschwings. A little shake of the head from this hugely experienced athlete, but a team competition is more of a marathon than it is a sprint. It's time to rectify.
The Wendeschwings are especially hard on pommel horse because once your legs come apart, it's very difficult to stay on. That's what happened to him.
Graduate of physiotherapy from the University of Montreal. Very bright and accomplished individual. So a small setback for the Canadian team, but they've got so much quality still to come. Fred Richard, 14.366. So he's down a fraction from qualifying, but it was a very high score. 14.6 in the preliminary round. It's still an extremely useful number for the American team. It's just very exciting, very exciting. They've been talking about him for years in the United States of America.
Here he was asked what his goal was, and he exclaimed, podium, podium on something. He's got a few chances.
I think he has, yeah. Campaign.
And this is opportunity for Canada if they can do what they did in the qualification.
Sun Wei on vault.
It's a very beautiful Kasamatsu with a double twist. And if you're wondering how he's feeling, that is probably a reaction that will give you a clue.
He scored 14.2 in qualification, 14.866. So it could well be that the People's Republic of China are doing a little better than qualification. There's a surprise. What we have been so used to. The Olympic bronze medalist in the team competition from Tokyo. Su Weide is next, 23-year-old from Guangdong, the coastal province in the south of China.
The same vault that we saw from his teammate. And really the only thing where you can take a deduction is on the landing. He does well to keep it within the tram line so he doesn't incur an extra deduction for going out of bounds, as it were. It's just the step back.
This is really impressive from China to begin. They're going to be picking up several tenths here as well. Indeed, 14.7. That is almost half a mark better than the preliminary round. We cannot say we were not warned.
It's really vintage China on vault. They have difficulties in the qualification, and you don't see it again in the final.
Lorenzo Casali over on the rings. 21-year-old at his second World Championships. What a great performer he was last year, finishing 13th in the all-around competition.
He's a very solid all-around athlete. And that is the team that Italy has constructed for these World Championships. They have opted to leave a couple of their very good specialists at home. The Yamawaki to Jonassen combination, well performed. And he presses up to handstand from straddle sit. At least one swing to handstand hold element like that giant is required in every routine on still rings. And he demonstrates the same thing going forward.
Lorenzo Casali from Italy, as the Italian team that qualified in 6th place seeks to get its first medal in the men's team competition since 1913. Let's have a look back at his display. He's a gymnast who has developed enormously over the last couple of years since we started to see him at senior level.
Italy comes into this competition as the reigning European champion as well.
13.5, 13.566 in qualification, so much of a muchness. Now we remind ourselves of this display from Minami Kazuki on floor.
His first tumbling pass, well worth seeing again. 2.5 twist to front layout full. Extraordinary, really.
I can tell you the score was 14.433. We have it confirmed now. That is down by around a tenth from qualification. It brings us to the end of the first rotation. The 1/6 mark has been reached. A long way still to go. How clear is the picture? Not very, but we'll endeavour to talk you through it in just a moment. Hope you're enjoying all of the action so far from the Antwerp Sportpaleis. Belgium hosting the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics, as they did when they first happened in 1903. Over on the pommel horse, René Cornoyer scored 11.033. That is a drop of 1.9 from the preliminary round. Beautiful sight. Lovely job done with the lighting in this arena. Now the wait goes on for one last number to come in, so we can't give you the standings at the moment, but what we can tell you is that the People's Republic of China, having made a very compelling start to the competition, are heading over to the parallel bars, where nothing ever of high quality has ever happened from Chinese gymnasts. They are absolutely phenomenal on the parallel bars. They don't have the top man here because the Chinese gymnasts have split their squad across the World Championships and the Asian Games, but they've still got some very good numbers to be delivered.
Including the world champion from 2015 on parallel bars.
To the pommel horse for Japan. Germany competing on vault. As I say, we'll give you the standings just as soon as we have them. But there is one final score that is being calculated at the moment. And it's a very important number because it's for a gymnast from the United States of America, and we absolutely need that because they've started so well. There will be a slightly artificial perspective to some of these early scores because of some nations not having competed yet at the vaulting table. The People's Republic of China have started on vault, and we expect them and Switzerland to be up there. It's going to be very interesting when we get to the third rotation to see how Great Britain fares on vault, because they struggled hugely, allowing the United States of America to be stronger than them in qualification, and the USA seems to have started the competition well. It is China ahead of the United States of America, with Switzerland in third position, Japan in fourth place, then Great Britain, Germany, Italy and Canada. As I mentioned, China and Switzerland have already performed on vault, but what a start for the United States of America. Really highly impressive from them. Just to run you through the last score, it was Asha Hong, 13.966 on floor. And Hashimoto Daiki, the Olympic all-around champion, scored 14.3 on floor. So we have a look at the Italians getting ready to try to bolster their numbers with a strong performance on vault. The most telling indication so far is of a strong beginning for the United States of America. But now they head to the pommel horse, where things can be rather dramatic. There will be some extremely nervous American fans watching this now. Take a breath, keep yourself calm. It's Yul Moldau. He scored 12.666 in qualification.
This is a good start for Mule. The scissor to handstand and the Wendeschwings on one pommel. He wasn't a member of the World Championship squad last year. It forced something of a reckoning in his gymnastics, but he has come back, having reset, and is looking phenomenal here. Traveling flares, very tiring, but he's got enough, almost, for this handstand pirouetting dismount.
Some element of improvisation in the dismount for Yul Moldau. It is nonetheless a very good performance. A little costly at the end, but the attack on these travelling flares, extremely purposeful. It is lovely to see him back in a full squad at the World Championships after being the reserve for Liverpool.
It is a long and hard and tiring routine, but he got through.
People's Republic of China ready to compete on the parallel bars. Lin Xiaopan, the gymnast brought in, scored 13.733 on vault in the first rotation. He'll be coming up later on this piece as a world champion from 2013. So now we have Sun Wei getting them started.
That's a good, clean double tuck between the rails. It's a skill called a bell. He does the same in the pike position. Elements of the routine that won him gold here 10 years ago. I should say it was his teammate, Lin Xiaopan, who was the world champion here.
These are his very first World Championships.
Smooth tip helt to handstand and a Healy turn out. Uprise double front, half out.
It continues to be very impressive, this from the People's Republic of China. Sun Wei getting them started. Let's have a look at it again.
won the bronze medal.
He takes a lot of risk in this routine, and he's going to get rewarded for it when the score comes out.
And they won the gold
The front straddle Somi in between the rails.
in Liverpool.
And he really takes it to the maximum with the release skills on parallel bars.
And we should say a big congratulations to him as well, because his twin sons were born this year. Mario Macchiati from Italy. He scored 14.5 in qualification. The 23-year-old from Fermo on the east coast of Italy.
That's a Kasamatsu with 1.5 twists. You note on the board behind him, the difficulty score is 5.2. It's a high difficulty, but not as high as some that we will see later on.
13.533 for Yul Moldauer. That is extremely useful. He's gained almost a mark from qualification. It's the real deal, this display from the United States of America so far. How useful to be able to call upon Dr. Kaya Kazuma. Bronze medalist at the Olympic Games on pommel horse. The 26-year-old who completed his doctorate in sports science at Juntendo University recently.
He begins with a scissor to handstand. That element swinging around on one arm is known as a seon. Gets quite a lot of his difficulty by coming into contact with one pommel at a time. The Magyar and Shivado traveling back and forth across the horse.
Good opening for Kaya Kazuma and for the Japanese team, and there is the trademark Kaya Kazuma reaction. How we need that in any team final. It's an almost mandatory part. Lukas Kohan from Germany.
He's one of the newcomers on the German team. Really nice distance on his Kasamatsu, 1.5. And just the small shuffle with the landing.
He scored 14.066 for the vaulting qualification. He was in the German team that was 5th at the European Championships in Turkey earlier this year. He's a very impressive young man. He's had dreadful knee trouble in his career, 3 surgical procedures. He's had to rehabilitate extensively and with real patience and determination. He's done it so well. 14.733 Sun Wei on the parallel bars. That is a gain of half a mark. We keep saying that. China gaining about half a mark. 8th place in qualification? Don't think so in the final, the way they're going at the moment. 14.333 for Mario Macchiati on vault.
And the penalty of 1/10 of a point comes because he stepped over the white tram lines with 1 foot.
Kaya Kazuma, 14.2. That's an improvement from qualification of just over a 10th. Fred Richard waiting for his turn. A gymnast who scored 14.2 himself in qualification. Colt Walker, the reserve gymnast for the USA, watching on as we see Fred Richard on pommel horse. If he gets in the region of that 14.2 from qualification, he'll be as pleased as punch.
Bender swings between the pommels. That makes it even more difficult. He's got such wonderful clearance above the horse. It's the height of his hips compared to the apparatus. Flares into Magyar, turning his body around.
He's done it again. He's produced another splendid display, young Fred Richard, in this team competition.
He really went for it, and everything was taken to the maximum. It's very hard to go up into a handstand pirouette at the end of such a routine, and he handles it very well.
14.366, the vault of Lucas Kohan. Germany in 6th place at the end of the first rotation. The Canadian team in 8th position. So many of these Canadian gymnasts cite as their great hero a gentleman by the name of Kyle Schufelt, who's here working for Canadian television, an Olympic champion. The Canadian team was so calm and composed during qualification. Kyle Schufelt wasn't. He was bouncing around like a nervous wreck.
As he does, and Kyle was on the last Canadian Olympic team to compete as a team at the Games in 2008, and what an occasion that was for him.
William Aymar from Laval in Quebec.
He's been such an integral part of the Canadian team and their Olympic qualification process. He's posted tremendous results on the international stage. Slight check in the handstand, however, there, but he brings it back under control very quickly. The Yamawaki and the Jonassen. And a strong press to handstand.
He's such a conscientious, diligent gymnast, and the reward is coming at these World Championships for William Aymar, who has helped the Canadian team secure a place at Paris 2024. Rotation number 2 in progress in the men's team competition, this first day of finals action at the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships in Antwerp. Somebody with a great reputation on this apparatus. Twice a European Championship medalist, Christian Baumann. The 28-year-old from Leutwil, a beautiful medieval village in the north of Switzerland. Twice an Olympian already.
They are typically a very steady team, the Swiss, especially on this apparatus. In 2016, they qualified to the Olympics as a team for the first time since 1992.
Whenever you watch Christian Baumann on the parallel bars, you feel so secure in what he's doing.
He's so controlled, and he takes his time. He doesn't rush in elements like that Stutz. And there's a double pike dismount.
Wasn't that nice from Christian Baumann of Switzerland, the team that qualified in 7th position ahead of the People's Republic of China. William Aymar scores 13.8. That for him is a drop of just over 3/10 from qualification. Traditionally a very big hitter for his country on this apparatus. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, bronze medalist on rings at the last World Championships. He is the reigning two-time Commonwealth Games champion for Team England. He scored 14.3 in qualification. The number can be higher. He'll be hoping for it here.
He's always so secure in his strength parts. Each of these holds has to be held for at least 2 seconds. That looks like no problem. And he does his Jonassen directly to a handstand. That makes it harder. Planche and pull to this variation on an iron cross. And you notice how he extends his fingertips outwards while holding that iron cross. He doesn't get any difficulty for that. It's just a way of signaling to the judges how strong he is. The only question for him is, can he stick the dismount?
It's a good display, a very strong one from Courtney Tulloch, who turns 28 in 3 days' time. How will it compare to the 14.3 he scored in qualification? Christian Baumann, 14.133. Small improvement from qualification of just under a 10th. To the People's Republic of China and Yor Hao. Didn't compete on vault. This is the first chance we've had to see him in this final. 31 from Jiangsu province on the east coast. Already twice an Olympic medalist, and he has 7 World Championship medals, full colours twice over, and then an extra gold for good measure with the team in Liverpool last year.
There's a tucked double back, the bell, and he'll do one in a pike position as well. Double tucks between the rails really have fallen out of fashion in the last several years, but not from him. And it's one thing that makes this routine great. It's a really smooth tippelt. The static swinging elements and the release skills, he does it all.
He competes for the highly impressive Jiangsu provincial team that won the national title earlier this year. They're full of top names, and those top names are producing excellent work in this final.
And the judges, of course.
It's just beautiful gymnastics.
Over to the Italians and Nicola Bartolini on vault. A gymnast who has been a champion of the world. That was on floor in 2021.
It's tremendous on the leg events and shows it once again here. Very clean Kasamatsu with 1.5 twists and a blind landing.
The 5th time that he's competed at the World Championships. Nicola Bartolini, a Mediterranean Games medalist on vault in Algeria last year.
He's known for his good execution, and he does a nice job keeping his legs straight, gets good clearance from the table too.
14.566 is only 1/10 down from qualification, as you alluded to there, by the strong execution, a hallmark of his gymnastics. For Courtney Tulloch, a 14.1 score on the rings, 7.9 execution. He's down 2/10 from qualification. The next rotation is going to be so interesting for Great Britain because they head to vault where they struggled in the preliminary round. Joao did not struggle there, 14.966. That's not half a mark better than qualification, it's 7/10 better than qualification. It's a little more than 7/10, actually 3/4 of a mark. Brilliant from China so far. For Switzerland, over on the parallel bars, Noah Seifert. A gymnast who has twice been 5th in the all-around competition at the European Championships.
Twice in handstand, he has made some very small adjustments with his hands. The judges might be able to take 1/10 of a point for each shuffle. A slightly overbalanced handstand will cost him another 1/10. Overall, though, this is very strong.
At a slightly unsteady landing, Noah Seifert says that his greatest contribution to the team is his consistency, his humour and his versatility. Well, there's no laughing matter there watching that performance. That was deadly serious and really well done from him. He won his first senior international medal this season on the parallel bars at the Osijek World Challenge Cup in Croatia. This young man has been a revelation at these World Championships. From the northwest suburbs of Leeds in Great Britain, Harry Hepworth, a World Championship debutant.
He has really done superbly for Great Britain on the apparatus that he is competing. He's tremendous on vault. He proved very good on still rings in the qualification, and he's great on floor too. He's a terrific addition to an already very deep team from Great Britain. Nice Yamawaki to handstand. Just flew up there. T2 should perform the double twisting, double tuck dismount.
A gymnast who is not an all-arounder, he specialises in a few apparatus. It's working very well for him, and he has been a bright light in this British team already at the World Championships. So improved over the last couple of years.
His double twisting, double tuck was landed quite low, and you see the lunge forward. That will cost him probably half a point.
And he is on 14.1, which is about 0.25 lower than qualification. Pascal Brendel of Germany.
This is a different vault than any that we have seen as yet tonight. The Roche handspring double front in the tuck position. It too valued out of 5.2.
Very difficult, isn't it, for the gymnast to judge the trajectory as they come out of the tuck position.
Oh yes, when you have to do 2 forward somersaults like that, you can kind of get lost in the air. It's hard to know where you are.
His score, 14.1 for Pascal Brendel. That is so much improved from qualification where he scored 12.833. Hashimoto Daiki on pommel horse. What goes through his mind right now? It was at the World University Games, I should say, in Chengdu, where he had real problems on this apparatus in the all-around competition. Had a very heavy fall and couldn't continue.
And he had problems in qualification as well, although it didn't look that serious. He just hit the apparatus with his foot. However, that was a costly error in terms of the number that he received. It probably cost him half a point. So far, however, this is much smoother. Beautiful work.
One imagines that will be a very nice feeling for him. Hashimoto Daiki, the reigning Olympic all-around champion, and very nice for them too as a team. That was a quiet reaction from him, but there was intensity packed into it. This apparatus has given him real trouble and led to an unpleasant injury at the World University Games. Great to see this from him.
You make an excellent point there, Ollie, because through the years when he has fallen on pommel horse, they're pretty spectacular falls.
Fred Richard, 12.5 on the pommel horse. His difficulty significantly lower than anything else that we saw in that rotation.
And the United States didn't seem to understand why he'd been given 12.5. They inquired the score appealing, and the appeal was rejected. The score stayed the same.
Well, as we get to the end of this rotation, let's just catch up on some other moments from it, and a very significant performance for the Americans in Koi Young, who scored 15.066 in qualification. The 20-year-old is wonderful on this piece.
Just fantastic work through and through.
Now the score, 13.6 for Koi Young. Not entirely sure we saw that in its entirety. I think that was a routine in 2 halves, because his score in qualification was 15.066, as I mentioned. 14.266 for Hashimoto Daiki. That's vastly improved from qualification. Full mark gained for him. We'll bring you an update on the standings just as soon as the final calculations have been performed. And we're now moving into the third rotation as Japan head to the rings, along with the United States of America. So for the USA on pommel horse, 13.6, 13.533, 12.5. That allowing other nations the opportunity to close the gap somewhat. The Swiss will be well positioned after these first 2 rotations as well, due to their strong work on vault and the parallel bars, and we'll update you all on it after a look back at some of the best moments of that rotation. So far, the People's Republic of China looking very good. The setting is the Antwerp Sportpaleis and the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships of 2023. The Paris 2024 Olympic Games are very, very close. This is not just a metaphorical road to Paris, these championships. There is quite literally a road outside this arena that goes all the way to the city of Paris from Antwerp. And all of the nations in this team final will be taking a full team to the Olympiad. Now, Great Britain head to vault, and this is where they had enormous problems, frankly, during qualification, but where they're capable of scoring extremely highly and rebounding right back into contention. The Italians will be on the parallel bars, where they can produce some beautiful gymnastics. There's also Lucas Dowser to come on the parallel bars for the Germans. For the People's Republic of China, they head to the horizontal bar, the first time that has been in play in this men's team final. The People's Republic of China absolutely well out in front at the moment. The Swiss are in second place, Italy third, jointly with Japan. The United States of America have now dropped down into fifth position. But the gap that the Chinese are enjoying, 87.664 to 83.531. Christian Baumann of Switzerland on the horizontal bar. Into the straight catcher to begin. Travels reasonably through his pirouetting work. Winds up into a well-executed dismount, lovely landing, good work from Christian Baumann of Switzerland to get their third rotation underway. The Swiss in second position at the moment. They're having a very fine competition. The last time they won a medal was in 1954. Could they do it? Wouldn't that be a story and a half? They are currently leading the chasing pack, and it's quite a chase. Now we head over to Felix Dolce of Canada on vault, and he just about holds on to the end of it.
That was a lovely Kasamatsu 1.5, really a carbon copy of the vault that he displayed in the qualification. Dolce is a teammate and close friend of William Aymar. They trained together in Quebec, and they said that they have been dreaming about Olympic qualification for 15 years or so now, and they've done it.
Having started so well, it didn't quite go according to plan for the United States of America on the pommel horse. They head to the rings in fifth position. A first look at Paul Judah, the first time he's taken part in this final, 22, and from Deerfield in Illinois, he makes his debut at the World Championships.
And it was quite a debut. He's a young gymnast who many really have their eye on. He had a brilliant junior career. And then his way over the past 12 months or so has been filled with injury obstacles. But now he is back and healthy, and he is on the world team That's a good, clean Yamawaki-Jonassen combination. Full twisting double layout, stuck it.
Welcome to the final, Paul Judah of the United States of America. Decorated collegiate gymnast. And wonderful to have him back after such a difficult injury spell. It really was an absolutely rotten injury that he endured. That's not Christian Baumann, but the score was 13.866 for him on the horizontal bar. There he is. For Baumann, that is a good jump of over 6/10 from the qualification phase. Now this is where there's a chance for Great Britain to really move up the standings from 6th place. They're going to need these big numbers on vault. This is Jake Jarman. It's a 6.0 difficulty.
Yes, that is known as a Yonakura. It is a 2.5 twisting Kasamatsu, a full twist more than many of the 5.2 difficulty vaults that we've seen from some other competitors. It's so risky, and he was not far off in the qualification. He was slightly under-rotated. Today he makes it around.
That is 15.4, almost a mark and a half beyond the qualification phase. It's a brilliant start for the British team on vault. It's exactly the sort of improvement that they need to register to contend for medals. 13.6 for Paul Judah, almost the same as qualification, a drop of around 1/10 of a mark. The Japan team in joint 3rd position with the Italians as they go to the rings. Sugimoto Kaito, first time he's participated in this final. 23 from Chiba Prefecture.
He's off to a good start with the Maltese elements. And there's the Yamawaki and Jonassen, and he finishes that in an inverted cross. Each of the strength moves on rings have to be held for 2 seconds. And that was a beautiful double twisting double tuck.
They're back in the game and they know it. The Japanese team looking to move up from 3rd to try to chase this high score that the People's Republic of China have started with.
It was a slow start for them on floor exercise, but they are really ramping up, and we might see them shoot up the leaderboard over the next 3 apparatus if things go according to plan.
Got some very good work to come on the parallel bars and on the horizontal bar where they have the Olympic champion. Meanwhile, we go back to the Swiss, and Taha Sahani, the Swiss, remember, 2nd coming into this rotation. They've had a marvellous start. Would be extraordinary if they could keep this going. This is a gymnast who scored 13.666 in qualification. He's the reigning national champion.
Takamoto with a half turn to a really nice extended layout kacha. Caught the bar perfectly, and that's a Coleman. Full twisting double tuck over the bar. It's great amplitude on his kacha release skills. finished that pirouetting skill almost perfectly in handstand. Hop full and a hop 1.5. This has been terrific.
There's no doubt that the second half of the competition is going to be tricky for the Swiss, but they have done everything they can in their strongest pieces. It's a brilliant beginning. That's 50% of the job done, and done extraordinarily well by the Swiss team. Taz Zahani living up to his name as the national champion on the horizontal bar. Felix Dolci, 14.333 for his vault earlier, almost the same as qualification. We go to Harry Hepworth of Great Britain, 14.466 in the preliminary round. This is another very difficult vault.
He actually has 2 that he can choose from, and he is going with the handspring Randy, the front 2.5 twist off the table. Really well-controlled landing and looked very good in the air.
It certainly looked to be a stronger vault from an execution standpoint than we saw in the qualification phase from him. It could well be that Great Britain has absolutely transformed their competition.
The mechanics of this are very good. His feet are slightly flexed as he comes down to land, but other than that.
14.866. Harry Hepworth, as Sugimoto Kaito's score is 13.7. That's virtually the same as qualification. Can the United States of America get themselves back into the complicated peloton that's behind the People's Republic of China? Yul Moldauer, 14 exactly in the preliminary round. How wonderful to see him back producing gymnastics of this quality.
Some unique work in this routine so far in terms of moving in and out of the handstand. Lowers himself down and then performs a roll to a cross. And then he's into his Yamawake and Jonassen, and ends that in an iron cross as well, with the fingers flared out to the side.
From the United States of America, Yul Moldauer. Veteran presence, albeit still a young veteran in this team. Absolutely. I was about to say the team really looks up to him and needs his leadership, and he put it in more punchy words than I would have done.
He is clearly the most experienced on the team, having been to several world championships. He knows exactly what he's about here.
Suede on the horizontal bar for the People's Republic of China, the leaders. He scored 14.3 in qualifying.
Well, that's a lovely Liukin. A laid out catch up with full twist.
But unfortunately, a setback, a small one in terms of the size of their lead, but one nonetheless for the Chinese.
He really went for big amplitude on the second release skill, but when you do that, you can cast yourself out too far, and he was not able to get his arms down and around the bar. He's fully extended, and it just eludes him.
The lead over Switzerland, about 4 marks, just beyond 4 marks for the Chinese coming into this rotation. They won't want to use up too much of it. Oh my goodness me. Well, let's just for a moment forget about the score and forget about the competition. Let's just be relieved he's okay here, because this is wild, and fortunately he comes down onto his back rather than jackknifing the body too much. And there were a lot of relieved people there in the building when he hopped back up so quickly afterwards. But that is 2 full marks of that 4-mark advantage that has just vanished.
And as you said at the beginning of the broadcast, Ollie, everything counts here.
Well, his number is barely hanging on, and they might be barely hanging on to the lead after this rotation, the People's Republic of China. How the competition could have transformed. You have to feel for Suweda. He was very impressive in qualifying. We'll come back to that in a moment as we look at Mario Macchiati of 3rd place, joint 3rd place Italy on the parallel bars, where Italy are often so stylish.
You took the words right out of my mouth. They are such a stylish team on this apparatus. Macchiati's handstands are completely on point. Everything is being taken to handstand, even if he gets there a little slowly, as on that last one. And again, the judges will take a slight deduction for the hesitation. But the elements themselves are gorgeous to watch. Double front dismount.
Beautiful finish. He won the national title on the parallel bars last year. You've got to be such high quality to do that in Italy. Evidence of some composed and controlled work there.
Let's go,
Jul Moldauer, 13.866. It's very close to the 14 he produced in qualification. It's a competitive number. Colt Walker really is living every moment of this team final as the reserve. He's a well-respected member of the squad. Can't be easy being the reserve in a situation like this. Probably just desperate to get out there and compete. A lot of athletes say it's far harder watching than it is competing. The gentleman I was talking to you all about earlier, Karl Schufelt, has said that in public on many occasions. It's great when you've got control of your own destiny as an athlete. It's much harder when you're watching the team. Asher Hong from the United States of America, 13.966 in qualification. 19-year-old based in Texas.
A nice, easy roll to iron cross to begin his routine. Good position in his inverted handstand. Planche drops down to Maltese, and you can see his body trembling just slightly with the effort of it all. Big dismount, double twisting, double layout.
United States of America still buoyant and in the hunt. Asher Hong delivering excellent work on the rings for them. Undergraduate at Stanford University.
Really nice power and rotation on the dismount.
Well, this is a big moment. William Emar of Canada, who had a most irregular performance on vault in qualification. He wasn't able to complete his full vault at all. What can he do here? It's already better. It's a lot better. And relief for William Emar, who scored 9.5 in qualification. He was asked what he wanted to improve upon coming into the team final. He said, well, I'd like to actually do my vault. And he's done it there.
His steps were off in the qualification round, and when he hit the springboard, he knew that he was way off and actually didn't attempt anything close to this difficulty of vault. This is much better, despite the large cross step that will cost him probably around 0.8 of a point when all of the penalties are added up.
14.033 is 4.5 marks higher than qualification. Let's just remind ourselves, China in the lead by around 4 over Switzerland, with Italy and Japan in 3rd place jointly coming into this rotation. We now see Matteo Leventesi, a great gymnast on the parallel bars. He's always a pleasure to watch.
He gets right into it with the Healy, but the slight movement of his right arm will cost probably 1/10. It's rather uncharacteristic for him, and that is very uncharacteristic for him. That's a fall, 1 mark deduction. Additionally, he is unlikely to receive credit for the difficulty of the element that he was trying to perform. A giant with a full spin, and he just collapses. That's very, very rare for him.
His score in qualification was 14.833.
And he's repeated the elements successfully in order to get as much difficulty as he can for his team.
But it is an uncharacteristically wild display from Matteo Leventesi. We should say about all of these gymnasts that the pressure to secure that Olympic team qualification spot was so very intense. And for some of them, they gave everything emotionally and physically that they had to get that spot in Paris. And it may well be for a lot of the athletes that actually this team final is something of a physiological afterthought for them after everything they put in to getting to Paris.
That's very well put. Emotional exhaustion could well be a factor in some of the mistakes that we're seeing tonight.
It isn't just physical fatigue that these elite athletes feel, it is the psychological fatigue as well. We are at the end of the 3rd rotation. Let's catch up on some scores. 13.766 for Taha Sahani of Switzerland. 11.166 for Su Weide. And that is a drop of over 3 marks from qualification. Mario Macchiati, 14.166 on the parallel bars.
In this horizontal bar exercise. And now, on rings for Japan.
Now let's remind ourselves of Japan's quest. This is Chiba Kenta. We're looking back at the rotation that's just finished. 13.666 on the rings. In qualification for the 27-year-old who was the best all-around performer in the qualification phase. To the iron cross and moving up into a planche. Handstand decently maintained. Yamawaki to Jonassen into the iron cross with the toes nicely pointed, the heels together. A flicker, an arch at the back in the handstand with the arms extended horizontally. Not compelling there. He's having A real fight to recover it, which he does well. Will that cost as he goes into the dismount? No! Hits it very nicely. Good finish from Chibakenta. He's not had the easiest day in this final. He's quite unaccustomed to an occasion like this. He can do beautiful gymnastics, that is clear, but it's very different when you come into a big final. We've got to give him time to acclimatise. His score 13.766. A 10th up from qualification. It's going to be interesting to see him in the all-around final. Lukas Dauser from Germany. Parallel bars for him. And he's very much at home here. The silver medalist at the Olympic Games and the silver medalist at the last World Championships. Smoothness so far. Very crisp and tidy. This looks lovely from Lukas Dauser. Will the dismount match it? It certainly will. That was a joy to behold. Lukas Dauser. Fabulous. That should score extremely well. Very well. 15.366 from Lukas Dauser. Just a fraction better than qualification. Meanwhile, poor old Matteo Leventesi well down from qualifying, 12.366. He was almost at 15 in the preliminary round. And this is how things currently look. Great Britain has flown up into second place, and they are very close to the People's Republic of China. So that vault rotation, transformative for Great Britain. Switzerland are just ahead of Japan. So one more time, China, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Switzerland, Japan, the United States of America, Germany, Canada and Italy. I promised you at the start it would be as clear as mud. It remains thus. Now China will go to the floor. They, after this, will go to the pommel horse where they had such grave difficulties in qualification. It's a chance for the United States of America, who are in fifth, to consolidate or possibly move up towards the top three. On the parallel bars, Great Britain, who are in second place at the moment with the Canadians. The Canadians are in seventh position. Sun Wei of the People's Republic of China on the floor. He scored 13.6 in qualification.
He's hugely experienced, and he begins with a very clean Randy, the front 2.5. To front layout full, and just a small shuffle on the landing. He might receive a slight deduction for the wait time in the corner. Gymnasts are not supposed to pause for more than 2 seconds.
Well, the lead that the People's Republic of China has is not a huge one anymore, but they are still just about in front. Sun Wei getting them started and trying to lead the way on floor.
It's a very serviceable routine. It is at this level perhaps not quite spectacular, but it's very well delivered, really without a major error.
Koi Young from the United States of America will vault. He scored 14.8 in qualification, performed it well.
Beautiful handspring Randy, as we've seen from a couple other competitors tonight. It's a vault that starts out of a 5.6 difficulty. He's very clean in the air. Note the extension, the legs glued together. And he absorbs the landing well. Doesn't quite keep it in bounds with his left foot, so there will be a 1/10 penalty.
All of that making for a 14.666, which is down by just over a tenth from the preliminary round. Another exciting prospect coming through from the American team, Koi Young. Sun Wei, 14.033. Now that will really help the cause of the Chinese because it's up by about 4/10 from qualification. Florian Langenegger of Switzerland. The Swiss in third place, now head to the floor.
He does well to keep that first pass in bounds. The line is in gymnastics.
It is safe to say that the second half of the competition does not favour the strength of the Swiss team in quite the way the first half does, but they've put themselves in as good a position as possible to challenge for a medal.
Indeed, it is a good international class routine, but it lacks some of the spectacular difficulty that we have seen from some others tonight.
Spirits are certainly high, though, for this Swiss team. A gymnast who's been a real revelation for them, actually, of late, Florian Langenegger. Max Whitlock, the returning British gymnast, scored 14.133 on the parallel bars in qualification.
And Max Whitlock is far more than just his spectacular pommel horse routine. He was the Olympic bronze medalist in the all-around in 2016.
He's due also to compete on the horizontal bar.
And he's really showing his competence here and his experience.
A useful display from Max Whitlock for this British team that is now very close to the People's Republic of China, a British team that has never won the World Championship title. Could they do it after the bronze medal last time? 13.8 for Max Whitlock. It is down by just over 3/10 from qualification. Florian Langenegger, 13.766. Lin Chaopan, straight off the plane, pretty much. from the Asian Games in Hangzhou, a remarkable story. And he actually won the bronze medal on floor at the Asian Games after the Chinese team won the overall title. So this should be fresh in the memory.
Just extraordinary, and he's not holding back at all. Front double twist to immediate punch double front. And he shows the same thing in the pike position. The double front as a second pass.
It's asking so much of him in terms of the fatigue he must be feeling. My word, is he handling it well.
The Wendeschwings on floor exercise, an element named for Sergei Fedorchenko, a top competitor for Kazakhstan in the 1990s. And once again, there's a long wait in the corner that will be a slight deduction, but can you blame him?
Well, he hasn't had any other long waits, frankly, has he, during this competition? Hopping onto a plane, barely having time to unpack his toothbrush. Lin Xiaopan, a brilliant display. The reserve called into play. Now to Japan on vault, Dr. Kaya Kazuma. Japan fourth, just behind the Swiss. They'll expect to go beyond them with the numbers they've got in store on vault. And that will help. That'll help hugely, and he knows it as well. We said at the start that a team final is slightly more of a marathon than it is a sprint, and here's the evidence, because Japan is starting to move up the leaderboard.
And this is an ambitious display from him.
14.633 is the score. It's an improvement of close to half a mark from qualification. The last time we had the chance to see James Hall, he was having a tricky time on pommel horse, but how the fortunes have changed for Great Britain. Now on parallel bars, where he scored 14.466 in qualification.
This is James Hall, as we have come to know him, taking risks like catching that front straddle somi with his hands and not with his upper arms. That makes it harder. And remaining solid and secure.
That is a big performance from James Hall of Great Britain. How wonderful to see that from him after the start he had on the pommel horse. This is wide open, this team final.
And this is going to help a lot. Back toss with a quarter turn. Goes right back into the center of the rails.
Your guess as good as anyone's, wherever you're watching from. I hope you're enjoying it all so far. 13.8 for Lin Xiaopan on floor. No point comparing it to his qualification performance because he didn't have one. Didn't have time. Hashimoto Daiki of Japan on vault. Another 5.6 difficulty coming.
This should be the same as what we just saw from Kaya Kazuma.
Oh, the amplitude that he produced there. The 22-year-old from Narita near Tokyo beams as he departs. It means so much to him, the team title. He really wants this one.
Oh, it does. And he's so accomplished as an individual. And yet he says that what he really wants is for the team to win a title for the first time since 2015.
14.9 is his score, and that is way better than qualification. He had a very complicated qualification campaign. He was still the third best of anyone, but it meant that he technically missed out on a place in the all-around final. Though the Japanese have elected to substitute Kaya Kazuma for him. More on that another day. Let's just try and focus on this very engaging men's team final, very unpredictable one. Now the United States of America have got a chance to come back in, especially with the difficulty that we'll see here from young Asher Hong. My word!
Oh, yes.
That is absolutely sensational from this 19-year-old.
This is a Sukahara vault with a full twisting double back off the table. Look at the attack, look at the rotation that is needed, and that is the best landing that he has had perhaps since he's been here in Belgium on this vault.
15.1 is his reward. It is a gain of over 3/10 from qualification. There's excitement everywhere you look in this American team. 14.466 for James Hall, that's the same as in qualification. The British team around half a mark shy of China at the halfway stage of the competition. Now, this is really important psychologically for Su Wede, who had such a difficult spell on the horizontal bar, scoring 11.166. He was very good on floor in qualification, 14.2. What a nice start.
Oh, that was a very good start. 2.5 twist to immediate double front tack. Beautifully delivered.
He won the bronze medal on floor at the Asian Championships in Singapore in the summer.
He's sticking his landings. He's not giving the judges anything to take on these tumbling passes. But that was a mistake. He did not have the bounce that he needed from the floor out of the 1.5 twist, and he elects only to do a front 1.5 when probably he was going to try and attempt something more difficult. It was a quick thinking decision and a smart one, because he might have fallen had he attempted anything harder. Front layout full to the same skill with an extra twist, double twist, and a triple full to end.
He showed a lot of toughness there, that young man from Beijing Sport University. Quick thinking after a very troublesome horizontal bar routine. Well done to him. What will the score be, though? We'll see soon.
The mistake is likely to impact his difficulty score slightly, but it could have been much worse, because a fall, you lose an entire mark.
We have often said that it comes down to what you save every bit as much as what you lose in a team final. Sometimes just making that quick decision, you cost yourself half a mark, not a full mark, and you win the title. Jake Jarman of Great Britain scored 14.566 in qualification.
It's a nice Healy turn to start. He's such a firecracker, and he's capable of so much explosive difficulty. What he's really improved on over the past 12 months has been his execution. Everything is more extended. And you really see that on this apparatus.
And as a result of this, the People's Republic of China might be struggling to extend their lead over Great Britain. as Jake Jarman looks thrilled and heads back to join the ranks. Great Britain have joined the race for gold, there's no doubt about it. They've still got floor to come, that's where they'll finish, and they've got some big scoring athletes to produce floor routines. Japan, as we mentioned earlier, as they've demonstrated, has numbers abounding on vault. This is Minami Kazuki.
Magnificent on floor, he can be great on vault as well.
That was as light as a feather, that landing, absolutely exquisite.
How do you like that?
Quite a lot, I think. They certainly do in the Japanese team. Felix Dolci of Canada competing on the parallel bars. Canada 7th at the halfway mark of the competition. This gentleman, a youth Olympic medalist and a junior world champion.
He's crisp and clean on this apparatus, like he is really on every apparatus. He had a long and distinguished junior career and now is doing great things for Canada in the senior ranks.
I imagine there are so many of you watching this in Canada just overjoyed at what you've seen your men's and women's teams do over the last year. A metaphorical, maybe literal glass raised to the Canadian gymnasts. They have been sensational to watch. 14.1 for Felix Dolci. 14.1 for Suede. And that's only a 10th down from qualification. He could easily have been about a mark or so down. Good, quick thinking. Noah Seifert of Switzerland on floor. The Swiss just starting to slip away a little. Let's see what Seifert can do.
The first tumbling pass was good. The second one, the landing, will probably be a deduction of 0.3 to half a point. On floor exercise, landing deductions are small, medium, and large. If you just do a little hop, you're likely to lose a 10th. If you have a step or a bigger hop, you're likely to lose 3/10. And if you take a step or a hop that is wider than the width of your shoulders, you're probably going to lose 5/10.
They really have been a pleasure to watch, the Swiss team, in this final. It may be that some of the big scores that are being produced in this rotation are going to see them drop quite a bit down the leaderboard, but nonetheless, they've been very enjoyable. And he is a serious prospect at continental level when it comes to all-around competition.
They're producing some very good work, the Swiss.
Nation with a wonderful history of gymnastics. 14.166 for Jake Jarman. Great Britain in second place because Japan now lead. Minami Kazuki, 15 exactly. It is ever so tight. Paul Judah. Next to vault for the United States of America.
He is going to do the vault of the moment, the Yurchenko double pike. You might have heard something about it before.
Very difficult to judge the trajectory, difficult to get clear sight of your landing. But the United States of America are very much contending still as we go on. They're going to be leading the chasing pack.
Obviously, there is going to be a significant deduction for the 2 steps backwards that he took on the landing, but in the air, it's really good. Note how his legs stay together almost the entire way through.
14.4, Paul Juda's score, the USA in 4th position. .6 for Noah Seifert, the Swiss in 6th place. Crowd enjoying themselves in the Antwerp Sportpaleis. A rather different atmosphere, one suspects, in the 1903 edition, with just 4 nations attending. But it started something special. It started something that has endured. It's been going on for so long now, the men's team competition at the World Championships, that it's actually outlasted 3 of the nations that have won it. Let us look back. These are the current standings. This is so close. Great Britain about a 10th behind Japan. China a few hundredths behind Great Britain. Then daylight, but only the equivalent of around 1 fall separating the People's Republic of China and the United States of America. The first half are pulling away from the second half. We've seen the Swiss, as predicted, drop down a little, but that top 4, especially that top 3, goodness only knows what's going to happen next as we head into the penultimate rotation. Let us briefly look backwards before we look forwards. Japan doing superbly on vault to move into a leading position. The People's Republic of China dropping down into 3rd place. Great Britain are sandwiched in between, and it is a very compact sandwich at the moment. It's wafer thin ham. Rotation number 5. Japan head to the parallel bars. Many strengths there for them. The key performer is likely to be Sugimoto Kaito, who scored 15.166 in qualification. United States of America will join them on the parallel bars. They've also got some very good scorers. For Great Britain, the horizontal bar. This is going to be a very interesting test of their status in the competition. Can they produce high enough numbers to take to floor where they can really attack with some big scoring gymnastics? Germany and Italy on floor, 7th and 8th place at the moment. The Italians slightly higher, but by only around half a mark. Now then, pommel horse for the People's Republic of China. In qualification, they were producing some scores that they would not like to ever see again. There was a counting 10.9 score. Just as we identified vault as a key moment in Great Britain's trajectory, so this is the key moment for the Chinese, as they try to get above the nation, who now heads to the horizontal bar. I hope any of this is making the remotest of sense, because in terms of data analysis, it's absolutely all over the place. Max Whitlock of Great Britain 12.733 in qualification. He starts for the British team in the penultimate rotation.
They are at the same time putting great pressure on Japan, but they must maintain a good rotation on horizontal bar.
Very secure beginning from Great Britain and Max Whitlock, the nation in second place. It's not going to be a huge score from a difficulty perspective, so keeping the execution as crisp as possible is paramount here.
What it lacks is a spectacular release skill. He does do one, the hop 1.5 that we just saw.
Is this whole thing going to come down to tenths to hundredths? We just don't know.
It is worth noting that Japan had the highest team score on both parallel bars and high bar in the qualification.
And very simply, if they do that again here, they've won the World Championship title for the first time since 2015. Kaya Kazuma of Japan. 14.8 in qualification. A medalist on this apparatus in 2019 at the World Championships in Germany.
6 exercises stand between Japan and the world title, but they have to do all of them very well. And that's one down.
It's going to be a big reaction, surely, from... there it is, Kaya Kazuma. I thought he might hold out there for a moment and be more muted, but no, the big scream that we always expect from him. It's an excellent opening for the Japanese.
It's a long and complicated routine, but he did everything right.
13.4 for Max Whitlock is well up from qualification, a very helpful number for the British team. Secure execution. He has gained about 3/4 of a mark. We look now at Yohao. Didn't compete on pommel horse in qualification. They've really changed things, the Chinese. Will it pay off?
He actually said that he didn't feel he had the strength to do pommel horse in qualification after having competed on other apparatus. But he's getting through this.
Well, that is very useful for China to begin. Yohao, who we didn't see on pommel horse in the preliminary round. A morale-boosting start for the Chinese in 3rd place coming into this rotation. It's going to go down to the very last seconds of this team final. It's going to be a thrill to watch it. 14.733, Kaya Kazuma. Almost the same as qualification, less than a tenth of drop. Now, we can't forget about these gentlemen, the United States of America leading the peloton. If you've got Fred Richard on hand, you've got a chance. 14.6 in qualification.
So far, so good. Giant Bavsar in combination. Good lift of his hips as he goes into his tapelt. It should be a smooth movement, and it is. He combines it with the Healy turn. Diamidov. Walking on his hands will cost him slightly, however.
A few moments here and there of consternation for Fred Richard. Nonetheless, United States of America giving a fine account of themselves in this men's team final. Not a huge gap between the Chinese and the USA coming into this rotation, but we should just take stock of the fact that China, who've started with a 13.4 on Pommelhorst from Yohao, are finishing on rings. And they have there the Olympic champion to count upon. James Hall scored 13.833 in qualifying. This needs to be really top-notch for Great Britain.
And from him, we will get a big release. Cassina, well done. He'll do another Coleman. Same thing in the tuck position.
And James Hall, having done those difficult releases, coming off on the Kachev.
He was going for it. He was completely extended. And just as we saw earlier in the competition, when you do that, you take a huge risk, and it doesn't always pay off.
Some problems for the British chase for gold, but still they go on in this twisting and turning team final. He recovers and recovers well. It was 9/10 of just the ticket for James Hall. What a shame that that Kachev was not connected. Fred Richard, 14.033. So that is a drop of just over half a mark from qualification, for the reasons that we explored earlier. Hashimoto Daiki, 14.6 in qualifying, having a pretty positive day so far. Japan leading with 2 rotations to go.
This is very nice so far. He's carrying his elements right to handstand. Good amplitude and control on the front straddle somi. The word in this exercise has been control. He's not letting himself get too excited yet.
He can get excited now. He can get very excited now because they are looking like they're going to put themselves in pole position going into the last rotation, the Japanese. where he will finish on the apparatus where he won the Olympic title in his home country. The dream scenario could be coming true for the Japanese. .12.433. James Hall down by 1.4 from the preliminary round. Now to Sun Wei. He scored 12.966 in qualification. But China have made a mockery out of all of those numbers.
And in him, they get a hugely experienced competitor, someone who has proven himself time and again that he can hit when it matters most. Wu travel into a Wendeschwing, and again.
This is a nation that has won 10 consecutive men's team medals, a nation that has won 20 out of the last 21 in terms of getting onto the podium. They almost never miss out on a medal in men's team competition. They don't look like they're going to today. It's unrecognisable from qualification, as it so often is, but I would say even more than ever before, this is unrecognisable from qualification. He's worked hard for it. 14.866, it's better than qualifying by 0.266. A better day, certainly for him. Sun Wei, 14.266. And that is about a mark and a third higher than qualifying. Is it now Great Britain that's going to find itself dropping down, but with a very compelling floor rotation to come? So many questions, no concrete answers thus far, I'm afraid. Jake Jarman, who scored 13.966 in qualification, the best of all of the British routines on the horizontal bar.
He starts off with a strong layout Kachev. Moves to a regular Kachev. The Stalder work is quite crisp. He needs to finish the pirouettes at or near handstand.
Jake Jarman does his job for the British team. The all-around silver medalist at the last British Championships. Great Britain trying to keep in touch with the Japanese team in the People's Republic of China. It's proving to be a very tough task, considering how well the Japanese are performing on the parallel bars and how well the Chinese are performing on pommel horse. And it just gets better and better for Japan, because now they've got Sugimoto Kaito, the national champion, who scored 15.166 in qualification. If he gets close to that, there's no question that Japan will be the favourites going into the last rotation.
Very intricate work. And thus far, it is being executed cleanly. He has done a lot in this routine.
That is just lovely from the national champion and the World Championship debutant. He was quite low on his landing. The nose and the knees were pretty close to each other, but nonetheless, he looked steady as a rock on the apparatus itself. Such nice geometry, good straight lines. Impressive, very impressive, as have they been on this piece. Lin Chaopan, parachuted in, as it were, on the pommel horse.
Scissor to handstand. One pommel work. The Magyar Shavado combination.
Lin Chaopan, I don't know about the pommel horse, this man's the Trojan horse. He's the one they didn't want to let in the door of the building. The late arrival as China makes a run for the title. 13.2. Sorry to repeat myself, but China unrecognisable from qualification once again. Oh, China, you always do this to us. .2 for Jake Jarman. Great Britain in third position. Sugimoto Kaito, 14.833, the Japanese in the lead. It's not quite as strong as his performance in the qualifying round. Yul Moldauer of the United States of America on the parallel bars. The USA will perhaps sense some vulnerability in Great Britain's score as they go into their final rotation. What can Moldauer do?
He can do quite a lot, actually. He brings his characteristic clean execution to parallel bars. This too is a very stylish routine. There's a lot of pirouetting elements.
The excitement of the American gymnasts on the sidelines, the support they're giving.
He had one small problem in a handstand, but it's not going to be a big deduction.
This is fascinating. They're still in this. They are still in this. The veteran once again, Blythe, the veteran, he's done it.
They needed that, and he delivered it.
How quickly a man goes from standby to statesman. The reserve at last year's World Championships and the leading light at the moment for them. And it's not just in terms of what he's doing there on the podium, it's what he's doing on the sidelines, isn't it? It's the guidance, the sense of confidence you get from him, which can also be said of this gentleman, Nicola Bartolini of Italy, the world champion on floor in 2021. Leader figure of the Italian team that took the silver medal at the European Championships last year in Munich. A real artist on floor, purity of gymnastic skill.
Such a crisp beginning with the side pass, the Randy, and double front pike half out. Well cranked, double twisting, double tuck. When he won the world title on floor exercise in 2021, part of the reason that he did it was because his landings were almost flawless. It's one of his calling cards on floor, but only one. Two and a half to a very floated front layout. There's only one thing left to do.
The conclusion to Nicola Bartolini's floor routine, the score 14.033, Italy in 5th position. We've got a very interesting leaderboard to bring you, because the United States of America with Yul Moldauer's 14.933 have gone into silver medal position with one rotation to go. Great Britain, as we anticipated on horizontal bar, have dropped quite a way. Let's look back and remind ourselves of some of the moments of the rotation. And these are the standings. Japan, 2.5 ahead of the United States of America, 3.7 ahead of the People's Republic of China. Great Britain now down in 4th position. The gap starting to grow. Japan are wonderfully positioned going into this last rotation. They've got margin of error across their 3 routines. The United States of America now seeking to hold on as they go to horizontal bar. Literally and metaphorically, the USA's last medal in a team competition for men was 2014. And can Great Britain get back into it as they go to floor, where they've got some quite high numbers that they can call upon if all goes according to plan. Oh, and by the way, China on rings, where they had some huge scores in qualification. It may be that the picture is becoming slightly clearer. There's no doubt who the favourites are, but it is not clear-cut. We're going to see the top 2 nations conclude on the horizontal bar. They have earned their station from qualification in the final. They have matched what they produced in the preliminary round. They will go toe-to-toe. On the floor, Great Britain. Their scores in qualification, close to 14 from James Hall, 14.5 from Harry Hepworth, 14.366 from Jake Jarman. Those are good numbers. Will they be good enough? The Italians and the Germans conclude their campaign on the pommel horse. Italy have moved up into 5th position, by the way, but they are just over 3 marks behind Great Britain. And then we've got China finishing on the rings. Well, I'm at the stage where I'm just going to throw pieces of paper into the air and say, I don't know anymore. What about you, Blythe? You're going to join me in having not quite any clarity on this.
It's too close and it's too hard. Things could change, things could stay the same. We don't know, but we're about to find out.
Koi Young is underway for the United States of America on the horizontal bar. The team in silver medal position with 3 performances to go. Good luck to them.
Layout Kachev, and then a regular Kachev. He's done some nice pirouetting work too. Dismount, double twisting, double layout.
Young's score in qualification was 11.933. He broke into a massive grin as he completed that routine. He may have gone some way better, more than some way. Just got the toes over.
He doesn't have tremendous clearance over the bar on his Kachev, and the other Kachev skill lacked a little bit of amplitude as well. There it is. But he got through it without a major mistake, and that is a win for the USA.
Liu Yang of the People's Republic of China. If there ever was a time to bring the Olympic champion into play, this was it. 15.2 in qualification from the man who won the title in Tokyo.
And what a way to begin pressing up to a gorgeous inverted cross and doing it a second time. Note how his shoulders are almost horizontal in all of the crosses that he does, shoulders and arms. This beautiful Maltese position, just picture perfect. This is why he is the Olympic champion on this apparatus.
He made his debut at the World Championships in Antwerp in 2013. He was fourth in the rings competition. I don't think he's going to be part of a team finishing fourth here, anything but. That's a good beginning, a very good beginning from China in this last rotation. They would expect him to be the top scorer. They've got, by the way, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo still to come. So, I mean, it's a cracking finish from them. Koi Young, 12.833, very well done. He's 9/10 higher than qualification. Kaya Kazuma, 14.166 in the preliminary round. Japan, 2.5 ahead of the United States of America coming into this final rotation.
He is the only holdout from the team that won gold in Glasgow in 2015. He was 17 at the time. Good full twisting double tuck to begin. And well controlled on the layout Kachev. There's the regular. Beautiful Takamoto full, finishing very close to handstand. And again with the half. This is called a Czech giant. Difficult on the shoulders. And an unusual in-bar stalder.
The holdout has held on, and Japan are wonderfully positioned to take gold. Dr. Kaya with just the dose of medicine the Japanese team needed.
He'll take a very slight deduction for catching the Coleman with his elbows bent. But like you say so often, Ollie, it's not necessarily what you give away, it's what you save. He didn't let it become a problem.
15 for Liu Yang. China in the lead at the moment. He's only 2/10 down from qualifying. This we would expect to be their lowest score on the rings by some way. But it's now Sun Wei who takes a very, very important big breath as he goes up into the planche position.
There's a slight hesitation as he went up to handstand before the dismount. And he pulls a giant.
They are on course at the moment, the People's Republic of China. Third place coming into the last rotation, trying to chase down the USA.
The swinging elements to the Iron Cross were just lovely. It was only at the end of the routine that he began to show just a touch of fatigue.
14, Kaya Kazuma. Japan leading the way. Now to Paul Judah. 14.166 in qualification. This is going to be a hugely important routine.
This is one of his best apparatus. Begins with a Yamawaki, but that's only the beginning. A really nice tucked Kovac. Caught with perfect position to swing out. And then variety, a layout Kachev. And two Kachevs in combination, the straddle and the pike.
For this young man, gymnastics was a source of not just sporting pride, but academic pride. He promised his parents when he was a child that he would pay for his college education through his gymnastics. He was able to say to them, I've done it, I'm going to university, and look at him now, injury can't beat him. Nothing can get the better of Paul Judah.
Gorgeous dismount, full twisting double layout, and he hangs on for the stuck landing. What tenacity.
He said it was the proudest moment of his life when he could tell his parents he was a sports scholar at university. He might be starting to get a few more proud moments as his career goes on. Sun Wei, 13.966. He's done nicely there, up 3/10 from qualification. China ahead at the moment. Now, if Great Britain are to mount a challenge to get back onto the podium, then performances like this are going to be paramount. And so far, this young man has shown he can be relied upon. Harry Hepworth scored 14.5 in qualification.
He's very quick and powerful. That is a triple twisting double tuck. He does put 1 foot out of bounds, so that will be 1/10 of a point penalty.
And he has sat down, and that is going to be hugely problematic.
Not only does he lose a point for sitting down, he also landed with both feet out of bounds, so it's at least 1.3 that he's lost on that pass.
That will be of enormous relief to many of you fans of the United States of America watching on, because it may well mean now that the USA's place on the podium is all but assured. But let's just remind ourselves what we're watching here. A very young man, he's only 19, he's in his first World Championships. His qualification displays were fantastic. Everybody has got to be given time to get used to the biggest stage of all. Not quite on this occasion from Harry Hepworth. It changes nothing about his bright status in the British team.
He's got tremendous potential as a floor worker. Even though it didn't go right tonight, there's so much difficulty in this routine, and you can't blame him for really going for a great landing, which sometimes results in under rotation.
Trust your training, Fred. Let the body take over. You got it. Come on. Do it, Fred. All you, Fred.
Well, he got the message. I think you did as well. 13.933 Paul Judah, excellently done.
You know it! Come on, Fred, let's go!
Joao on the rings. They've already called upon the Olympic champion, now the silver medalist from Tokyo. What strength and depth this Chinese team has. And what a lovely start from him too. He scored 14.8 in qualifying.
And pressing up to a planche like that is so difficult, even for the best ringmen in the world. A great Maltese too. Held just a little longer than he had to, perhaps just because he can. And a double layout as a swing move. He is the only one in major world competition doing that right now. Jonassen to iron cross. There's some very unique combinations of skills in this routine. His strength is extraordinary. Double layout dismount.
Just fantastic. Joao, this team, what a display. They barely made it into the final. There's no question, no doubt about it. They're well and truly on the podium. Where exactly is still to be determined. But they have made fools of all of us that looked at their qualification results yet again. It feels a lifetime ago, Blythe, that we were watching them thinking they might not make it into this final.
It was close.
Fred Richard for the United States of America, the collegiate champion on the horizontal bar. Can he bring that to the world stage? He scored 12.233 in qualifying.
Begins with a Cassina. Excellent. And the Coleman, very good as well. And the Kachevs in combination, just as we saw from Paul Judah. That will be a deduction. Leg form, and perhaps not finishing in handstand the way he intended, but he's back together with it.
He's done incredibly well, Fred Richard, to get through that, to hold on. Now it will cost, but what has he saved? A lot. No question. And they are almost certainly going to get a place on the podium now, the United States of America. These bright young prospects with an old hand looking after them in Yul Moldau. He's not old really, he's only 27, but you know what I mean. 14.866 for Joao. People's Republic of China in the lead, but Japan will mount an attack on that score soon. And so this competition is nearing its end. It's been fascinating, unpredictable. We have Jake Jarman of Great Britain, who scored 14.366 in qualification.
And speaking of fascinating on-floor exercise, He's not going to do his full difficulty routine here, but we may see it in the all-around competition. Still, with a triple twisting double back like that, he is well set. Triple twist side pass too, and he just nails the landing. What capability. He's always been quite a daredevil with his tumbling, as Jake Jarman. But what we're really seeing come into focus now is the clean execution. Triple 3.5 twist to end.
Jake Jarman from Great Britain, a British team that has really given everything they have. That may well be priced out of the market on this occasion, but we'll see a lot more of them in the finals still to come.
Let's go, Dikey.
Fred Richard, 14.533. It's transformed from qualification. The USA, second place. Absolutely fantastic from them. And now we head to the moment where Hashimoto Daiki has an opportunity to win this for the Japanese team. The moment that he has dreamed of.
And who better than the Olympic champion on horizontal bar to close it out for Japan? Cassina, lovely. Coleman, beautiful. All eyes in this arena are on him.
It has meant the world to him. The chance not just to be an individual champion, but to lead the Japanese team to glory, and he has done so! On the sidelines, they roared. He barely reacted. After such a turbulent qualification campaign for him, he has justified why he's their top man. Hashimoto Daiki. The score required for them to win this title is around about 12.5. And I think he may just sneak beyond that.
We are waiting for two scores. The score of Jake Jarman for exercise, and of course the score of Daiki Hashimoto.
Sometimes, in the most complicated and confusing of stories, the final chapter presents itself to you with crystal clarity. Hashimoto's dream has just become Hashimoto's destiny. This is a gymnast who lives for the team. Harry Hepworth earlier scoring 12.8. But we've got more numbers to bring you, so ignore that placing for the British team because it's not fully representative. United States of America looking extremely secure now to get a place on the podium. We're waiting to confirm that. 14.533, Jake Jarman, Great Britain in third place. The USA guaranteed to get at least the bronze medal. First since 2014 for them, And what about Japan? Are they going to take the title? The British team will know surely this score is going to send them down into 4th place. They know before we know. Hashimoto has led them to goal, 14.366. Japan are the team world champions for the first time since 2015. It is their 7th, their magnificent 7th World Team Championship title. The People's Republic of China, considering they finished 8th in qualification, have fantastically managed to take the silver medal. And the United States of America finishing ahead of Great Britain to win bronze. Japan are your world champions. The People's Republic of China, the silver medalists, continuing that incredible run, 11 times in a row on the podium at the World Championships in the men's team final. But this is a new chapter for the United States of America, their first medal in this event in 9 years. Yul Moldau with this team of absolute youngsters. And what a statement they have made. But the Japanese dance for joy. Kaya Kazuma just leant backwards and screamed into the rafters of the Antwerp Sportpaleis. It is such a gymnastics rivalry, particularly in men's competition. Japan and the People's Republic of China at the World University Games. The Chinese, and this was in July, won the gold medal over the Japanese team, and now Japan have come to the World Championships and taken top spot. We just had a little reminder there though, didn't we, of what happened earlier in the competition in the qualification phase. The gymnasts with their Paris 2024 t-shirts on, the Swiss team who finished 6th and who have, even more importantly than that, earned their nation a full team quota place at the Games. But my word, you've got to keep an eye on these young lads. They are going places. This will only make them hungry for more. We will bring you in just a short while the victory ceremony, but here are the classified results in the men's team competition. The bronze medal for the United States of America, silver for the People's Republic of China, and the gold medal won by Japan, their first title since 2015. Coming up next, we'll have the victory ceremony, where we'll see the United States of America on the podium. A brilliant accomplishment, just ahead of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, as we look back at the day and this enthralling men's team final. Coming up in just a short while, the victory ceremony for the men's team competition at the World Championships here in Antwerp. Don't go too far away.
I see the podium already being there. Niels, I'm going to look over to you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Seems like you met some wonderful people there in the stands. Beautiful stories, a coach, some proud dads. Fantastic to see that. I think we are almost ready for the medal award ceremony, so stay with us. Stay with us. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
As the Suns are just passing by, we got to see them up close, the smile on their face. It's been a great finals day, that's for sure. And now we just have to wait the ceremony to close this day in style and give out the medals. So stay with us for a couple more minutes as we await the ceremony. As we wait a couple more minutes, we might as well throw another flex cam at you. Come on, you don't have to speak English to do that one. Let's go. If you see yourself on the screen, there's no reason to shy now. A lot of people have something to celebrate. You just witnessed the 8th best country in the world perform at the highest level. So you guys can flex at the highest level. Let's go now. Okay. Yeah, keep it going, keep it going. Oh, you just stepped into the camera. Okay. Oh, you twerk? You twerk now? Let's go. Come on now, keep it going. It's a flex cam. You know what to do. You know what to do. Yeah. Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's see who else we got. Okay. Oh, you flex it with the flag. Let's go. Show me the arms. We got an Ed Sheeran remix in the background. You don't get any better than this. Come on now. Where's the flex? Let's see you with the backpack. Oh, we're in the VIP. Yeah, flex in the VIP. Yeah. You can also flex in the VIP. That's what we do. Come on, sir. You're not paying attention. Hey. Yeah, that's your time. Let's see who else we got. Oh, we start folding shirts. That's also cool. You just do you. Hey, there you are again.
Daniel, sorry to interrupt you, but the reason why we are waiting for 1 or 2 minutes is because the gymnasts are doing some flash interviews in what is called the mixed zone, the place where the journalists are waiting, and they need to go there. It's mandatory for some very short interviews. We will start shortly in just a couple of minutes, so stay with us. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the medal award ceremony for the men's team final. Please welcome the medal winners.
Antwerp and the 2023 World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. This is the victory ceremony for the men's team final, and what a fabulous final it was too. An engrossing and dramatic contest, and one ending in a delighted Japanese national team winning the World Championship title. They are thrilled simply to be there, and it will only increase their desire to do it again and again and get better and better, and they probably will get better and better.
Third place and bronze medal winner, Team United States of America.
The United States of America, the bronze medalists. The first time the USA has been on the podium since 2014 in the men's team event.
With Asher Hong, Paul Judah, Yul Moldauer, Frederick Richard, Cole Walker, Ko Young, and Coach Brett McClure. Second place and silver medal winner, Team People's Republic of China.
United States of America, the bronze medalists. The People's Republic of China, despite qualifying in 8th position and only just making it into the final, have won silver.
And Coach Yu Yunhai.
Silver to the People's Republic of China.
World champions, Team Japan.
The champions of the world once again, Japan. Just one of the team knew what it felt like to win a World Championship title, Kaya Kazuma, and he's joined by a young team that now knows how it feels to be on top of the world. They will go to Paris as the world team champions. Japan, champions of the world.
Will be presented by Mr. Morinari Watanabe.
And now the presentation of the medals and the mascots. For the United States of America, bronze medals going to Asher Hong, Paul Judah, Yul Moldauer, Fred Richard, Ko Young, and Colt Walker. To the People's Republic of China, the medals to Liu Yang, Su Weide, Sun Wei, Lin Chaopan, Yo Hao, and Shi Zong. And for Japan, the medals won by Chiba Kenta, Hashimoto Daiki, Kaya Kazuma, Minami Kazuki, Sugimoto Kaito, and Miwa Teppei.
medals, ladies and gentlemen, will be presented by Peter Frederiks, co-president of the Royal Belgian Gymnastics Federation, by Peter Kopidlovski,
the presentation of the mascots as well,
Federation, and by Sylvie Rons, board member of the Royal Belgian Gymnastics Federation.
And it's now time for the national anthem of Japan. The champions of the world, Japan.
What a fantastic
and they are the medalists in the men's team competition at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics in Antwerp, Belgium.
Japan. Time for some pictures, yes, of course.
The bronze medal to the USA, silver to the People's Republic of China, and gold to Japan in the men's team competition at the Antwerp 2023 World Championships.
Gymnasts, congratulations. Thank you very much. Wonderful to have you here in Antwerp. Thank you so much. Gymnasts, thank you so much.
As the Hinomaru, the flag of Japan, flies high, so we say goodbye from the first day of competition. When it comes to finals at the World Championships, we have so much more still to come though. 5 more days of finals action in Antwerp. The women's team final is next. That takes place at the same time tomorrow. But we'll leave you with the scenes of celebration as the medalists depart. Joining me today was Blythe Lawrence. I've been Ollie Hogben saying goodbye, but not farewell.